I'm interested in your digital remote working, which was, I think, previously been referred to as the Virtual Science Network. Is that the same thing? I've got Virtual Science Network, I think, in one of the documents that
I might have referred it to it, but I like that, so I might use it from now on.
So you're looking at looking at your relocation strategy. You're saying, are you still basing your need for that virtual science network on the fact that you're only going to have 10 to 15% of your current staff that are going to consider relocating to Armidale?
Essentially, yes.
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 So, and from what we've been hearing, you need to maintain all of these staff, or you can't do your job. So you're going to have to work out how to do it.
That's right.
Yes. So, are those scientists? Do you expect them to be spread all over the place, or are they going to largely remain based? I mean, are they largely in Canberra at the moment?
Yes. Well, we're completely based in Canberra at the moment. So I would expect, if you look at the current cohort, those people who choose to work remotely will be working in and around Canberra. In the future, what I'd be looking at is if I can use the remote working arrangement to bring in people who are elsewhere in the country. So from my previous job, I'm looking to try and poach some of my previous employees. So I'd be trying to look at how I can get them engaged. So I'm looking at it also as an opportunity to get access to other skills that I may not have otherwise got access to.
So those remote working staff in Canberra, the ones who aren't willing to relocate, so they will continue to be co-located together somewhere?
That's what we have to work out, because under the policy order, we are not able to be in Canberra or a state capital, so we're just looking at the logistics of what that means. At this point, our assumptions are based on people working from their home via a home office, but we're still working out that level of detail.
So you'll need to have the IT set up to their home office to enable them to efficiently operate. So, and how many are we talking about, say, in 2019 when you've fully relocated to your brand spanking new building in Armidale?
This is purely rubbery figures. So we work on the assumption we've got a cohort of 100. We know that we've got some people leaving, so I'm not expecting to have that full 100 by the time we get to the point of moving. I know that more people will probably move than what they're indicating now, but even if we say 25%, I'm still looking at about, say, 50 to 60 working remotely.
Right.
They're the incredibly rough figures that's in my head.
Okay, so 50 to 60 who, because of this policy instrument that says you can't be in Canberra, you'll have to set up IT for them all to work from their home offices.
Yeah, this is where, yes.
And they would probably prefer to be working together, given that they're colleagues that they've been working with for a lot of them probably a long period of time.
This is one thing I've discovered since the whole remote working is that people are so different. Like, I would love it, but a lot of other people wouldn't. So we are having to look at the more human side of the remote working as well. It's not just about the technology solution. It's about, for those people who are working remotely, how do we provide them with the social networks? How do we bring them together easily? How do we make them feel engaged? So that we're going to have to get some specialist people in to help us with that as well.
So you'd have to have mechanisms essentially to work around the regulation that says you can't have an office in Canberra. Essentially, yes. So, you know, to create spaces where they can come together for interaction and for scientific interaction as well as social interaction.
That's right.
Yes. Would you agree that it would be more efficient for those 50 to 60 people to be able to maintain an office in Canberra?
Look, it's a speculation thing, because I've got a government policy order that says I need to be located in a regional office, so that's speculation.
Speculation, but in terms of the efficiency of having an IT network and not having to have the workarounds so that you could give them the ability to work together.
Perhaps if I answered in the more general, it's always better when you have an organisation that's co-located and can be able to have that more structured presence, and where we can really get the culture and the team building working.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.